your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show, always helping you win in any marketplace, making you more street smart here on the Consumer QB Show. Tucker Carlson breaks the internet with his new show. We're going to talk about that story, his new show debut. Also, European stores head to U.S. malls. Interesting comment here on the U.S. retail spending, $7.1 trillion. So the Europeans see that as a great opportunity to move to the United States. So European stores heading to the U.S. malls. We got a great lineup for you today here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Chaz Bradley, he's the Keller Williams team leader out of our Clearwater office in Palm Harbor, Clearwater area. We're going to talk about real estate and top 20% masterminds and coaching and all types of good stuff with Chaz Bradley. We also have Andrew Kube back in studio, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. We're going to talk with him about this story, the malls, commercial real estate, business loans, lots of ways that he can help you here as a lender on the commercial side. Before we do, we always like to jump into and feature our real estate listings live on air. It's part of our strategy where we help sellers sell faster for more money right here in Tampa Bay for all of your real estate needs. Reach out to the Platinum MVP team, PlatinumCoastalElite.com. That's PlatinumCoastalElite.com. And let's talk about this property here. We've got a mansion listed in Tampa. This one's actually in Lutz, Florida, Berger Road, 3704 Berger Road in Lutz, Florida. 10,000 square foot home. You got 10 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, no HOA or CDD. Indoor pool area with a full bar and an oversized deck, and we could throw some pretty cool parties there at that deck, that outdoor deck or indoor deck. Full tennis court, library, movie theater, sauna, 2 master suites, a grand balcony, and more at 3704 Berger Road in Lutz, Florida, Hillsborough County. And I touched base with a realtor yesterday. He says, "Hey, I'm doing these awesome virtual open houses." So hopefully we'll be teaming up with Ricky on that and setting up some cameras and doing some virtual open houses. Might as well hit the internet and let everybody comment and see that property as well. Now, we also do commercial and vacant land properties. So 7202 U.S. Highway 301 South in Riverview is a brand new listing to our team. This one is a corner lot location, commercial property. You've got a mechanic shop on one side that has a 5-year lease. So you're talking about passive income already in place. And then there's another office building that has a barber shop currently. Now, of course, you could make that into a title company, mortgage, insurance, attorney office. Great location. The price is in the 700s, I believe. A great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. Commercial property, corner lot location, U.S. Highway 301 South, 50-plus thousand vehicles a day passing by. Another great listing from the Platinum MVP team. Also, Livian Coastal Elite is our new brand. You can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPteam.kw.com.
Yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
The business that's leasing to see if they want to purchase the property?
Possible. I mean, that would be a good idea.
They could possibly do that for no money down.
That's a great idea. Good point. Andrew's chiming in on with a good idea on that. So, Andrew, you were saying the music was playing, so I don't know if everybody heard that. So, good point. Talk to the tenant, see if they're going to be maybe open to buying the building. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I have a program through the SBA that not many people know about. I have 4 lenders throughout the country that do it, and you can actually buy commercial property for your business for no money down. And so you can buy the property that you're currently renting, or you can buy any property within the city or within the Tampa Bay area for your business. So the way the program works, if you've been in business for 2 years, and you're currently leasing your commercial space, you have the opportunity to buy commercial real estate for your business for no money down and walk away with cash at the closing to help your business grow. Let me give you an example of a client that I helped out last year. Had a dentist that was currently leasing a space, heard about the program. He came to me and said, "Hey, Andrew, I've heard about the no money down program through the realtor that I'm working with. Tell me more about it." So what we do is we look at, the first thing I did was I looked at that business's net income.
Right.
And I was able to add back in their yearly rents as income. So let me give you an example. The business was showing about $100,000 net profit after all their deductions, and they were paying $5,000 a month in rent or $60,000 a year. So what we do is we take that $100,000, we add in the $60,000 as now new income, because I call this program the rent replacement program.
There you go.
And the rent was going away. They wanted to buy new property, so we used $160,000 for their income.
Okay.
And then what we do is we multiply that times 8.5 times, and that determines what they can buy for no money down. So if I had a calculator and took $160,000 and multiplied it by 8.5,
okay,
that would come to $1.36 million.
Nice.
So in that situation, that business owner can buy commercial property for no money down. Now, back to the dentist, he qualified to buy a $1.5 million property. He needed $400,000 in addition to help his business grow. He needed some working capital because he had to hire some new employees. That covered their pay for the first 3 to 4 months. Dentist equipment's expensive, so he got a couple $100,000 in equipment, and then he got fixtures for his office. So we ended up doing a loan for $1.9 million, and the dentist put no money down. He
Wow.
paid for his appraisal. He paid for environmental, which we didn't end up needing. And so he was ecstatic. He called me back 8 months later and goes, "Hey, Andrew, I'd like to do that no money down program again."
No
and
way.
I said, "Well, I bet you do." I said, "But do you remember I told you it's a rent replacement? You own the real estate now."
Right.
He's like, "So now it's going to be for the second location, it's going to be 10% down." He said, "Well, still, can you get me the working capital and the money I need for equipment to help my business grow in the second location?" And I said, "Absolutely." So we did a loan for $1 million to buy the property. I got him the $400,000, which was now we're at $1.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to put down $140,000, which was 10%, but he still walked away with the $400,000 to help his
Right.
business grow. You know what he said, Brandon?
What's that?
He said, "I'll call you back in 8 months. I'll want to expand and do it again."
Wow.
So through the SBA, you have $5 million to play with. So any business that's out there that's currently leasing,
Wow.
or if you already own your location and you want to expand your business, you can do that through this program.
Yeah, that's super awesome. Andrew Kube here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. I mean, that's a game changer for small business owners, a dentist, like you said, contractors, mechanic shop that is looking to expand. You're looking to grow. And a lot of people just don't know about these programs, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely an awareness thing. And when I speak to a business owner, the first thing I'm going to ask them is, how much are you paying in rent right now?
Right.
And if you have a client that's paying $10,000 a month in rent, that's $120,000 a year that they're leaving a legacy for their landlord's family instead of their own.
Exactly.
And over a 10-year period, they'd be paying out over $1 million to somebody else's mortgage instead of putting that back in their pocket.
Right on.
And so that's a $2 million swing.
Yeah.
And I always, what I try to do is help the business. My passion is really helping business owners grow their business and changing lives, so to speak. And this program that I have really allows you to do that. If you're 55 years old and let's say you want to retire when you're 65, I always ask the question, what are you going to do in 10 years? Are you going to shut your business down?
Right.
And they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, if you don't own that real estate, it's going to be hard to sell your business.
Right.
But if you own the real estate, you can sell the business and rent the real estate out, or sell the business, sell the real estate.
Yep.
And it just gives you another more
Exit
money
strategy.
for retirement.
Yeah, exit strategy. I mean, that's the key when you're talking to smart business developer or business owners. And it's an interesting study too that kind of comes to mind. There was a Harvard study that was done. It was Dr. Edward Banfield. He conducted a study into what makes some people more successful. What gives people, look at immigrants that come to this country. How can an immigrant come to this country and create wealth and grow this wealth, right? So he did this 40 or 50-year study. It was an amazing story on the upward mobility and how what is the number one key determinant of success? And he says, long time perspective. Right. So when you have this long time perspective, you're thinking about your exit strategy. You're thinking about, hey, what happens when I can't swing this hammer anymore? Or I'm at my 65 plus, right? I'm at that age. What is my exit strategy? So I thought that was pretty cool. A Harvard study, and the number one takeaway is, yes, develop this vision, develop long time perspective.
Yeah. And that's what I do. I'll ask questions to get the business owner thinking. And for the long term, when a lot of times everybody's thinking on a monthly basis instead of, hey, what's going to happen in 10 years?
Right.
So the program does allow for ground up construction. So you can buy land for no money down and build whatever you want. So that's another great thing about the program. And if you're a business owner out there and you might say, well, I have a startup idea, or we're working out of the house right now. In those situations, it would be 10% down because you're not replacing anything. But remember, you're going to get all that money and back some to help your business grow. And I have on the business loan side, I have ways to help the client get money for even their down payments, or to replace money that they currently have for a down payment.
Wow. So get money for down payment. Yeah. That sounds interesting.
So if you're a realtor out there, you're just a client out there, if you're an investor out there in real estate and you need cash to help your investment portfolio grow, or to help your business grow, I can help you on that side of the business as well.
Yeah, that's awesome, Andrew. We're talking with Andrew Kube. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. He has a company called U.S. Commercial and Business Capital right here in Tampa Bay. SBA loans, small business loans. These are things that are kind of outside the box. And here's the thing you don't want to do. You don't want to walk into the same place that you have your savings accounts, your checking accounts, your maybe an auto loan, the big banks, by the way. You want to work with someone like Andrew. Now, Andrew, what's the dynamic here? Are you a broker? Or how are you structured, right?
So I've over a number of years I've been able to establish relationships with different banks and lenders out there throughout the country. So I'm a one-stop shop really when it comes to lending. I have hard money situations, ground up construction. So really, no matter what your project is, I've had that scenario come over my desk before, and I know the top lenders in the country that handle that particular space.
Yeah.
If you're an investor out there and you like to invest in multifamily property, please give me a call. I had a situation that happened last week where the client had gone to their bank, and the bank was offering a rate for a multifamily property. I think it was around a $2.5 million purchase, and the bank was talking 6.5 to 7% on a 25-year amortization. Mm-hmm. And the numbers didn't work. So the realtor called me and said, hey, the numbers aren't working at 6.75% or whatever the bank had quoted them. And I was able to get the rate in the fives.
Wow.
So now you take a situation to where, hey, the property is not cash flowing, but now it does because they called me and I'm lowering their rate by 1%.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the difference between a broker and just walking in and taking whatever the big name bank gives you. They take the bailout monies. You see them getting these big name companies like Wells Fargo just recently got another huge, I think it was a multi-billion-dollar fine. I mean, some huge fines coming out from these big financial institutions. So we always say shop small, shop local, work with the Consumer Quarterback Show expert contributors. Andrew Kube here on the show, 727-263-3707. You can also email the show, brhymes@kw.com, 727-263-3707. That's an off-air number. You can call or text, and brhymes@kw.com. Another story I wanted to get to, Tucker Carlson breaks the internet. His new show debut hits. Last I saw, it was like 104 million views on that show, and I'm going to ask the producer, Alex, to throw that up on the screen. So Tucker Carlson breaks the internet with his new show debut. And he also, I guess in this story, it's saying Tucker Carlson debuts Twitter show to big numbers, threatens to leave Elon Musk's own platform if anyone calls him out. So it's interesting, so it's a win. Chalk that up, check mark for free speech. Free speech, Fox News tried to, allegedly kind of censor him, take him off the air. I don't think they ended his contract, so now there's potential for a legal fight. They're threatening to sue him now because he did technically, I guess, another show on Twitter, but it was a Twitter direct feed. Very similar to what we saw happen last week with What Is a Woman, the movie by Matt Walsh, put out by the Daily Wire. What Is a Woman? Initially Twitter, some of the, let's say it nicely, the Twitter folks that censorship, they'll come in and take things down. he put out this movie, and it's simply asking the question, what is a woman? And it's going, somewhat against the trans agenda, these where they're taking these young children, 12, 15 years old, and changing their sexes and saying that it's they can reverse this. Yeah, they can, come off of these different, hormone altering type substances and drugs. But it's a great documentary. I would check it out. If you haven't seen it yet, I believe it's still free on Twitter. It's free on Twitter. It's called What is a Woman by Matt Walsh. Awesome stuff. But again, it's a win for free speech. Let's get these ideas out there. Let's debate these ideas, and let's not censor things that we don't necessarily agree with. So let's take a quick break there. We're going to come back more with Andrew Kube, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. And we're going to touch on this story as well about European stores heading to U.S. malls. U.S. retail came in at $7.1 trillion last year, and they're bringing their businesses over here. Find out about these brands coming to the United States. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening.
Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Got a hot listing that we want to touch on here at 605 Monterey Avenue. This is in Clearwater. This is a beautiful home. It's got a nice floor plan, just kind of an open, airy floor plan, and a beautiful pool. You got a screened-in pool here, and just a nice place to have, place to go outside and have a nice backyard barbecue. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2160 square feet, non-evacuation or flood zone, and it's a central Clearwater location. Great opportunity. New water heaters, roof AC units, great condition. 605 Monterey Avenue, Clearwater, one of our listings from the Platinum MVP team. 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin. This is a great opportunity to build vacant land, so you can buy some dirt and build here. This is 23 acres on the Little Manatee River, access to the Gulf of Mexico. Great opportunity to build townhomes, maybe some condos, or maybe put in a RV type setup, RV park type setup. 2817 Gulf City Road, Ruskin, Florida. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Andrew QB in studio, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital for all of your financing needs on the commercial and small business side, SBA loans, working capital loans. Here's an interesting story I wanted to touch on. International brands want a bigger presence in American malls. Mango, Zara, Primark, Lego, and IKEA are just a few of European retailers plotting big U.S. expansions, according to the Wall Street Journal. The lure is clear. U.S. retail spending totaled $7.1 trillion last year. But why now? Compared to much of the world, the economic outlook for the U.S. is upbeat. The Americans appear increasingly receptive to foreign retailers. They also are looking at how other brands have pulled out of Russia once a key growth market following the invasion of Ukraine. So it goes on to talk about these different stores and how they're growing and investing. Lego is spending $1 billion in its first U.S. factory, $1 billion for Lego, and then IKEA is spending twice as much as that, and to debut 17 new stores here. So it's an interesting, area of your business as well. And when you get into commercial, we saw 12.9% vacancy rate in commercial properties, the highest on record, 12.9, almost 13%. And where that gets into a little scary point is about all commercial banks own 40% of all of the, their portfolio rather is 40% of these commercial loans. And we talked about that too, Andrew, is, e-commerce is a big driver. People that are working from home is a big driver as well. And so, what's your take on that?
My take is that, I'd like to learn a little bit more about why they're coming to the United States, but obviously there's an opportunity for them to grow here and to make money here. And I really don't have a whole lot to comment on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, reporting. So I think also what we're seeing is people repurposing malls. I've seen that in South Florida. I talked to someone that was repurposing, like that's their business. They're repurposing malls. Sometimes you see these combination of services, kids, for kids, they'll go in and have these kid play areas, and then the parents have their place over here where they'll go play some pool and maybe grab a cold beverage, non-alcoholic, of course. But,
Yeah, so I have programs as well. So if you have a business and you want to get into a mall,
yep.
Obviously that's telling me that if you have these large corporations going into the mall, then there's an opportunity for you as a business to go into the mall as well. And so that's something that I can help you navigate through.
Yeah. So purchasing businesses, you're doing refinances as well for folks?
Yes.
Because that's a big thing now, too, is restructuring the debt on some of these commercial properties.
Yeah, I have a client now here in the Tampa Bay area that owns 2 office buildings. Like one's a 70 unit and one's a 40 unit, and he's in the process of refinancing those properties and lowering his interest rate by actually 3 or 4%. So.
Wow. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, refinancing. Rates right now on the commercial side are still very good. Under 6% on multifamily property, and then on everything else, you're in the 6s.
That's not bad. I mean, that's really good. And it's a little bit different, too. You don't really see as many 30-year terms. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, on the multifamily side, the lender that I have right now, they'll do a 10-year balloon with a 30-year amortization.
Okay.
And their rates are anywhere from 5.1% to 5.875. The one thing that I would mention, if you are a multifamily investor and you're deciding between a property that's over $1.2 million and under $1.2 million, the terms are so much better for you as an investor the higher the loan amount.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. If you're buying a $800,000 multifamily property, you're getting a 5-year balloon with a 25-year amortization, in the mid to high 6s. Where if you're over that $1.2 million, which is over a $1 million loan, assuming you're putting 20% down, those rates are in the 5s, and you get a 30-year amortization. So when you put those two scenarios together, it makes more sense for you to buy the property that's more expensive, because you're going to end up paying less over the long haul.
How do you want people to connect with you, Andrew?
727-296-8650.
What's the website?
USCBcapital.com.
USCBcapital.com.
Yep.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for those
All right,
nuggets of
thanks a
advice.
lot.
Good stuff, man. All right, taking a quick break. Coming back, Chaz Bradley is the team leader over at Keller Williams in Clearwater. We're going to talk with him, do a kind of an on-air mastermind here with you, tell you what we talked about in yesterday's meeting. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
Together.